What's happening, Hoodlum gang? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big old N, and I'm back at y'all with another video. If you happen to be new to the channel and want to become a member of the Hoodlum gang, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave me a comment below, share the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, hit that notification bell, and go on over to IG and follow me at Hoodie from the Hood. Now, before we get into the topic at hand, I want to say rest in peace to is it Sonya Massey, the lady that was unalived by the police out in Illinois somewhere. It just seemed like no matter how far we get, we go even further backwards, and not necessarily by our own doing, some be on our own, but that right there is a prime example of why we feel how we feel as a people in this country. I often hear people of other races make statements like blacks complain too much, or blacks are crybabies, or etc. Blacks this, blacks that. But no one gets targeted and has to deal with this type of stuff as much as us. It's at an alarming rate, and it happens to us way more than it happens to anybody else. So respectfully, if you ain't walked in our shoes, your opinion does not count. This lady called the police because she thought there was an intruder coming into her house. You call the police for help to protect you, and you end up resting in peace at the hands of somebody who's supposed to protect and serve. All because she said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Whatever she said, you know what I mean? I don't understand it. I don't understand how she was a threat. I know she was turning off the hot water or whatever the case is, but he was far enough. She even asked him why he was backing up. You know what I mean? But it's not like she picked it up and attempted to throw it at him. It's not like she charged after him. It's not like she suddenly reached for something. I don't get it, man. I mean, I do get it. I do get it, because I understand what it is. It's racism and it's cowardice. A lot of these cops are racist and they're cowards behind that badge. And they're going to continue to do this type of stuff until there's some type of requirement or some type of extensive mental test that goes on before these dudes get permitted a badge, homie. And then on top of that, they're patrolling areas a lot of the times that they don't come from, and they already have these preconceived notions about these people in these areas, and then they get stuck in those areas. No, put them in the types of communities that they come from. We need people who look like us, who grew up around us, to protect our communities. Otherwise, stuff like this is going to keep on happening. But I just had to speak on that. Rest in peace to her. Sad, homie. It's sad. It's sad that we got to keep on seeing stuff like this. But yeah, on to the topic. Boosie. Boosie recently had his federal charges dropped, only to be refiled again on him a week or two later, week and a half, whatever it is. Now, I was going to do this video a few days ago about how the case got dropped, because when I did my last video, I actually had questions about how that case got dropped myself. You know what I mean? Not necessarily trying to side with Whack 100, but he brought up a point that I actually agree with. I'm like, yeah, how did those cases get dropped? But I ended up watching Street TV. I believe it was a Street Scholars episode. It was with Spider Loc, Munchie B. Alex had a conversation with the attorney who represented him in that federal case. She explained how she ended up representing him and what was the loopholes. See, it's a lot of loopholes in these legal cases, and this is why people hold on. Even when they get a lot of time, this is why they be holding on and they be having faith that they coming home, because usually it's some type of loophole to where they could wiggle. You know what I mean? if not get their case completely overturned, they can get a significant amount knocked off, and depending on how much they already did, you know, it'll shorten their sentence. So there was a, I believe it was a Doherty case or something like that. That's the individual's last name, and it happened last year to where he had no violent prior convictions, and therefore him possessing a firearm, although that's illegal, it wasn't enough for it to be prosecuted. Or y'all got to watch the episode. I don't know all the legal terms and all that stuff. So this is how the case ended up getting dropped in Boosie's, but on Boosie's behalf. One thing that bothers me, well, there's a lot of things that bother me about Wack, but one thing that bothers me about Wack is he's on Clubhouse and he's sitting there talking about it, you know what I mean, about how the case got dropped, but you was just accusing the man of being a rat. Now you seen that that wasn't true. It was explained how, and I'm quite sure he had his people do some work and find out if it was true. But instead of coming out and saying, my bad, I apologize, I was wrong, he just moved on as if he didn't make them accusations. And like I said, man, these types of people, they love to control the narrative. He says it all the time, that he controls the narrative. And you just got to take some of what he say with a grain of salt. Most of it. Do he slide truths in there? Of course. Him, Charleston, all these dudes, they do the same thing. They're going to slide some truths in there to where you be like, okay, he talking right there. But that's not enough to cover up all the bullshit that they be saying too. So, that's basically what happened on that. Now, once again, let's get to the homie, KP. He kept on trying to spin that narrative and say, oh, he working for these people and all this. Just like she said, and I believe 1090 Jake said the same thing. The homie had no idea that somebody was monitoring. We know the police is on IG, but to have somebody sitting in the office on the computer monitoring you specifically, nobody knew that. It was a state agent, not a federal agent. So all this, he working for the feds and all that, that was debunked because it was a state agent. The reason why it was a state agent is because him, as well as another homie, is out on bail for something totally unrelated. You know what I mean? And the state agent is sitting there watching their page for whatever reason. Had nothing to do with the feds. So somebody posting something thinking that, hey man, this is just, you know, ain't nobody watching my, how many people would think that there's a live agent? I wouldn't be surprised if they're watching mine, but how many people think that there's somebody sitting there waiting for something? They sitting at a desk. Right now, this is their job, to monitor you. Nobody knew that until that day occurred. And that's how they seen what they thought they seen, and then they did all that. And even Alex and them was like, dang, they came with that many police and they brought the helicopter out. Well, that's how San Diego police is. We keep trying to tell y'all. They different out here. They're extra aggressive. You would think they would be aggressive like that in some of these other cities where the crime rate is sky high, but that's how they is. It's a tourist city. They don't even want it to get out of control. As soon as people start acting up and getting cracking, they're over policed. You know what I mean? They not having it. But I mean, historically, it has still went down here just like everywhere else. But yeah, that's what they do. 17 officers in a ghetto bird for this. I think they knew that they knew who Boosie was, and they knew that it was gonna be national attention and make it look like, yeah, this is. But really, it should make people be like, what are they doing with all this money? You know what I mean? Y'all wasting taxpayers' money by doing all that. It didn't take all of that to take him down. You know what I mean? But that's the type of stuff they do. So, like I said, a state officer was watching it, not no federal officer. Then he tried to say that when the homie wanted his case separated. Let me tell y'all something about these indictments, homie. Street niggas know, real niggas know this. Squares probably don't know this. You don't have to know or be involved with everybody that's on the indictment. If they indict 50 people, you could know 2 people. You could know 1 person, homie. You could have had dealings with that 1 person. And you'll get caught up in all of that. So when it's a indictment like that, or a RICO, and they say, hey, man, this is what all y'all doing. You could be like, nigga, I ain't never seen these dudes in my life. It does not matter. You tied to that guy. You tied to them two mess with these 10. It falls under the same thing. So for the homie to be like, hey, man, separate my case. I ain't got nothing to do with that freaky stuff they was doing. They had these charges with these underage girls. That ain't got nothing to do with me, because it's gonna look bad on me when I go to court. And I don't even know these niggas over here. I know 2, 3 of these dudes, and there's 15 of us. You know what I'm saying? So to try to make it seem like, oh, he was begging the judge and all this shit, like he was cooperating. Everything this man done said done been debunked. But if you not smart, homie, you gonna fall for the bullshit. You gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know what I mean? Y'all got to listen, homie. Everything he said about Boosie wasn't true. Everything he said about the homie KP wasn't true. But once somebody comes with these stories and these narratives, they got to keep on going now, because if he go back on it, I think he feel like he wouldn't be credible, even though he's not credible to a lot of us anyways. You would look more like a man if you say, hey, you know what, I messed up right there. I was wrong right there. I apologize for throwing that on him. I would have respected that more, instead of you keep on going when the facts don't support what you're saying. But yeah, man, they refiled on Boosie, basically saying something about a drug addict with a gun. I didn't know that's how they could spin it, because he was smoking or whatever. Now I guess that makes it a federal case. I don't know. They messing with that man, homie. Straight up. It ain't even that serious, but this is what they do. Not just to successful black men or successful men in general, but we talking about black men in this case, but black men in general. You know what I mean? They're going to trump up these charges to try to give you all this extra time, and they're going to come into your house and unalive you if you call for help. That's what they do to us. So, are y'all up on these events? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below about all this, man. Until next time, your boy Hoodie from the Hood, aka your friend from that big O N. I'm out.